Hi everybody, welcome back to Love What You Eat. On today's episode, we're making
a classic Italian traditional dish, Braciole.
Alright, my mother will show you how to prepare. We have 4 different styles and we will be starting with the classic one. So she has right now a thin cut of beef that is laid in between 2 plastic wraps, and she has this very old school mallet.
It's as old as I am, I'm sure. So you will need this to thin out your meat because it has to be as thin as possible to roll it out. If you want to make indentations, you can use the other side, but I'm using the flat side for today. So here we just have to pound it.
This makes it easy to roll and also helps tenderize it. So while it's cooking in the sauce that we already have a classic sauce cooking in the background, it will just, that's it, be more tender. And you can use any cut of meat, honestly. There's so many different traditional ways. You can use veal, pork, beef, even harder types of meat, because as we said, it cooks in a sauce for hours. So the meat will tenderize and break up and become very pull apart and a perfect chew once these are done. So my mother's preparing the old school method.
It's a butcher twine or a cooking twine. When we used to run out of this, we used to use white thread. We used to like double it or make it in 4, and we used to use white thread to make packages of the braciole. So I'll start with the traditional one. The traditional one was cheese, garlic, little pieces of garlic, sliced and cut in little pieces, and parsley. That was really the original recipe. But with time, we got all creative, so you could use so many other variations, exactly.
So again, this is going to be cooking in the Sunday sauce. It flavors the meat, it makes the sauce, it flavors the meat, it flavors the sauce, it makes the sauce so flavorful. We would prepare our meatballs and have meatballs in the sauce, and then have some either beef cubes or braciole in there too, and that would just give such a deep flavor to the sauce. It was delicious. Once all the meat was cooked off, we would then take out all the meat and put it on a serving dish, put it on the table, and we would cook a plate of pasta with that delicious, simple marinated sauce, but that it was cooked with the beef and the meatballs, etc. We would have a nice plate of pasta and then pass around that dish of the braciole with the meatballs, and that was our basically Sunday dinner.
That's
Even
right.
sausages, throw sausages in there and cook them. It gives so much flavor to the sauce. So delicious. So this is obviously just to make sure that everything is secure and does not fall apart in the cooking process of the sauce, because you'll still gently be stirring the sauce. So you want to make sure that whatever you stuffed it with stays there. So she did a knot, she wrapped it all around, and then she'll be coming down a long way.
Exactly, and just tuck it under. Just makes like a neat little package. And it holds all the stuffing inside. There we go. This is the old traditional way.
So as you can see, you can do endless types of fillings, and also speak to any Italian and they'll tell you their traditional way can vary from one region to another, northern to southern, etc., with the types of meat that they had, to how they stuck it, to how they wrapped it, etc. People honestly used what they had on their farm, in their little Campagna region, and just as you continue to either immigrate or work in different places, you started to pick up different type of flavors, or you started to recipe swap, etc.
Okay.
So
That's true.
yeah,
You could also put slices of prosciutto inside. You could put slices of salame calabrese, sliced provolone. I mean, really the possibilities and the choices, they're practically endless right now.
and this is my favorite part, when it's leftover cheese.
As Nancy mentioned earlier, the sauce truly comes very delicious and savory, because all this goodness that is in the braciole slowly will just like blend in with the sauce, and it gives it such a wonderful savory type of sauce. So now we're gonna nestle it in the sauce, and this has to cook medium for about 2 hours to 2 hours and a half. And if you see that your sauce is getting thick, I mean, add a little bit of water, and obviously periodically turn it from time to time.
Or also add some white wine, would be really delicious too.
Your red wine, yeah, red wine would be, yeah. If you have red wine, go for it.
So good. So prior to putting them in the sauce, my mother is just gonna quickly braise them so that you lock in a little bit more of the flavor.
Exactly.
And then we'll be placing them in the sauce to cook for a good 2.5 hours on medium, gently stirring because we don't want to break apart the binding that we did. And these will be ready in time for your meal. I'll bring you closer to the stove so that you can see exactly how we do the next steps.
It has so much flavor.
So they are done. They're plated. Obviously, my mother removed the toothpicks and the strings, so you want to do that before plating. And be sure that no strings or toothpicks were left in the sauce that you will use later on for like a nice plate of pasta, like we mentioned, etc. And how about we cut one open?
The carrot and cheese. Is it carrot and cheese? Yeah, this is the carrot one. There we go. Delicious. Okay, let's open up another one here.
And this was the original traditional one. Parsley, sliced garlic, and cheese. Going for the traditional one. And this was cooked very slow and low.
It's very tender, the meat.
Very, very tender. I'm
Don't
sure
forget it was also pounded out there, banged down.
Yeah.
It was knocked out.
Mm. Delizioso. Molto molto buono, delizioso.
Takes me back to Sunday meals. The sauce cooked in all that flavor, it is outstanding. The simple marinara sauce just elevated with all the different stuffings and fillings that we've showcased today. So good. Honestly, you can fill these, like we said, with anything. It just makes Sunday lunch or Sunday dinner just all that much more enjoyable and delicious.
Exactly. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for tuning in and letting us into your homes. Until the next time that we meet,
continue to
love what you eat. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
We're gonna put a pot of water and make some salsa.
Some salsa.
Some pasta.
Some pasta. See you in the next episode.
And like Nancy mentioned, the sauce is truly delicious because all the flavors that are in the braciole, slowly, they're just gonna loosen up and oh, please don't put that. I wanted to say flow and blend. Should I do no? I shouldn't say that. Like Nancy mentioned earlier, the sauce is delicious when you cook with braciole because all these beautiful.
It's okay. There's 3 more chances because there's still have all this cheese. We could do it.
As Nancy mentioned earlier.